Welcome to Ask Your Dad. My name is Nate Flake, and today we have a special guest all the way in Europe over here. We got CJ Hunter.
Hola.
CJ, and you're in Madrid, yeah?
Yep, right in the heart of Madrid.
Yeah, you guys are on deep quarantine.
The deepest, bro, the deepest. We're right in the heart of the coronavirus outbreak, for sure.
How long have you been on lockdown now? Like 4 or 5 weeks?
4. So Audrey and I were talking about it this morning, and it's been 30 days where
today,
and it's a proper marks our 30-day anniversary, bro, of this quarantine.
Oh, dude, congratulations. 30 days. That's not, here's your 30-day.
And it's a proper quarantine here too. I don't know. I hear the word quarantine thrown around, and it's like here you can only leave to get food. And we're in like a small apartment, so it definitely feels, it's a little claustrophobic. I mean, you've been here. You visited us, dude.
Yeah. We came. We spent December, dude.
Yeah, 30. Just imagine 30 days and running. So, we got another 20 or so more.
So you see? Oh, when's the end date? They told you the end date already?
Well, it keeps getting pushed back, but officially it's the 26th or the 28th of April. But now the Prime Minister is looking to push it back to the 12th of May.
So are the cases going down?
Yeah.
Like it's
finally.
It has to be if they have an end date, right?
Yeah, it's slowing down slowly. Like the case count per day has dropped dramatically. The death toll has, it's leveled off and it's slowly dropping. But there's been some sad stories, dude. I don't know if you want to hear some of the stories we've experienced over here.
Give me one of them, and then we'll change the subject to way happier stuff.
To happier times.
Yeah.
So my wife, the church she goes to, there was a guy there. He's in his early 60s, and he got like the typical chest tightness one night, and so and then it was hard for him to breathe, so they call the ambulance, and at this time, like it had reached capacity in Madrid, and they were using an ice skating rink as a morgue. They had no ventilators left, but
holy crap.
They came and whisked. Yeah, bro, it's crazy. They whisked the dad away, and then they had like no way to communicate with him. They were reaching out to the hospitals, and then finally, it was like 2 days later, they got an updated death list of like people who had passed away in Madrid. And he had actually passed away, and they cremated his body. So like no one in his family was able to say goodbye.
What in the world?
Shit like that, dude. It's crazy.
How do you even what? They didn't contact the family, and they didn't even know he didn't want to be cremated? Did he want to be cremated?
No, he didn't. No, it's because apparently, bro, it's crazy, dude. They thought maybe he was still contagious, or all the bodies were contagious, so they were cremating all the bodies at this point. But just imagine, bro, your dad's there like one night, and then you find out 2 days later through like an updated email that he's gone, he's cremated,
he's gone, and I can't ever see him again.
Yeah, it's wild.
Holy shit, that's the wildest thing ever. Well, and then the other thing too is like, what are they doing with the ice rink? They're just throwing bodies in there?
Yeah, they're throwing exactly bodies in caskets.
That's like a movie where they cremate because they're like, the bodies are contagious, you know?
Exactly. Yeah, it doesn't seem real. But we're so insulated in this tiny little apartment. We really have no idea what's going on in the outside world. So you see all of us here in Utah saying quarantine, and we're like out of the park with our family. You're like, you assholes are not. Yeah, and I'm like, suck my peen, dude. Suck my peen. Like, it's not a quarantine.
You don't know what a quarantine is. Wait, so when you go to get food, you have to have a letter. Like, how do they know you're not just out trotting around the town?
Yeah, so if you're not walking, so they'll ask where your address is. You always have to carry ID. And I've seen a bunch of people pulled over. They have like military trucks driving the roads. But if you're not walking, if it doesn't make sense what you're saying, then they'll either arrest you and put you in jail, or they'll fine you between 600 to 30,000 euros, depending on your income. But for example, someone in my son's school, like in that community, sent out a message, the mom saying, hey, my husband, he came home with all he bought at the store was Nutella. And he had it in his hand, and he was walking back home, and they deemed it a non-essential purchase. And so he was fined 600 euros for for just going out to buy some Nutella.
Did he get to keep the Nutella at least?
I hope so, dude. I hope so. I don't know.
$750.
They confiscated it.
Nutella. Most expensive Nutella he's ever seen. Never gonna eat Nutella again.
Never.
Wow, dude, that's insane. Yeah. So I don't. We're like, I mean, even Utah, we're not even on. We're on like social distancing or whatever, but no one.
But it's still got to be tough, dude. I mean, I listened to your last podcast. And I think no matter where you're at, it's really upended everybody, man. And it's affecting everyone for sure.
Yeah, I don't really feel bad for the adults. Like, get over it. Oh, you're sad. Like, I'm so sorry you're sad. Don't care. People are dying. But like the kid, I feel bad for the kids, you know? Like, yeah, your grandma's been through a lot. She'll survive a few weeks of not seeing her grandkids. But I feel bad for the kid, like my kids and your kids. Like, at least, yeah, you guys have it bad. Like, at least my kids, we can go on bike rides and go outside. You guys are like on straight up lockdown. Put your head out the window for some fresh air, you know?
You're getting pulled over. But it's not, I mean, our kids are still young, 2 and 4. So we've been surprised. It's not like they're begging to go outside. As long as we have Paw Patrol or Octonauts turned on, bro, or some Disney movie, they're
Can you guys go in that little courtyard? You have that little courtyard area between buildings. Can you go in there?
Yeah, I don't know. To be honest, I think we could. just him running around down there and like screaming. I could see some people being pissed. So we haven't done that.
Okay, well, let's get on some happier subjects. So today's Easter. We're recording on Easter Sunday. So thanks for taking the time. I know it's like 10 o'clock at night where you're at. So let's talk a little bit about Easter first. So most of the questions, well, actually only one of the questions this week is about Easter, but I always love Easter because it's like, I talked about this on one of the episodes. Christmas is one thing, like everyone expects gifts on Christmas, but all these other holidays, social media has just like made these holidays into like mini Christmases. Yeah, I don't know. So I wanted to ask you, we grew up in the same neighborhood. I've known you since I was like 7 years old. I don't remember getting like presents on Easter. I remember getting like gift basket, an Easter basket with like a ton of candy in it. And maybe like, I don't know, some extra batteries to the remote or something. I don't know what I get. But it wasn't like a legit gift. And
I think,
you remember that? Do you guys get hardcore gifts back in the day?
Dude, I think it evolved for us. I remember when we were really young, all I cared about was the Easter egg hunt. And maybe back then we were getting gifts too. But I think as we got older, maybe my parents were making more money. I have no idea. But I definitely remember getting gifts in my early teens. And then as I got older, even like bigger gifts, but nothing like Christmas. It'd be like, maybe like an Xbox game, which obviously is still ridiculous.
I guess that's true. When I was little though, like my kids age 6 and 8, I don't remember getting gifts. I remember being candy. And then some years it would be, it might be like the N64 game or an extra controller or something. And I'm not saying like full blown Christmas, but I'm looking at today, like it's always funny on an Easter morning, dude. It's either like the night before Easter or Easter morning. All these parents are posting on Instagram, like on their stories, like got it all set up. And it's just like, just the spread, just like toys and candy and that's, if you do that, that's your own thing. Like Sloan grew up getting gifts like that. And so we do the same thing for our kids. I don't really agree with it. And sometimes I'm like, oh, what do we get them this year for Easter? And like they got like scooters this year, which they already needed. And so it was like more of an excuse of like, hey, let's just give it to them and then tell them it's, it's Easter basket, which I think sets us up for failure later. But
I think me and Audrey are on the same page. And our kids are still young, but we've stuck just with the eggs, man. But I wanted to introduce like some competition into our Easter egg hunt, where we actually make like a hard boiled egg. Maybe we'll talk about this later with like the best and worst Easter traditions. But bro, I hate those hard boiled eggs that people make that I used to make too. I was thinking, how can I spin that to like a positive? And so I was trying to convince Audrey, we cook one hard boiled egg, we paint it, and then the kid that finds that egg gets to keep all the treats.
Oh, that'd be unreal.
Yeah, they'd be like a total, it'd be like Hunger Games, dude. It'd be like just
going hard for that last egg.
Just going for that egg.
We didn't do, so my family, and I was going to ask this on Instagram too, and I forgot. My family we grew up, my parents would hide Easter, they'd hide our Easter baskets, like hardcore hide them. Did you guys do that? Or was that like, I'm the older I'm getting.
Never.
We were the older.
Never. But I just discovered that Audrey's family does that. So Audrey last night like opened our dishwasher and she put Robbie's Easter basket in there. And I was
that's a classic.
What the hell are you doing? And she's like, doesn't your family do this? So yeah, I learned a new tradition last night. But yeah,
dude, we hide it. My dad would hide them hard. Like one time he put one of ours, and we have 8 brothers, right? So 7 brothers, 8 boys total. So he'd have to hide 8 different things in our house, and he did pretty good. Like one time he like hung one. He somehow like was able to like stuff it up the chimney, and then like you go on the fireplace, and you had to like he'd like wrap it all in garbage sacks.
A broomstick
protected. Yeah, put a broomstick up there. Another time, dishwasher, he did that when it was full. Why it was going, just straight up like running, so they didn't.
No.
Yeah, running and just waterproofed it somehow. And then I remember one time he did it in the garbage can, but like outside in a like at the bottom of the garbage, like so like multiple garbage sacks of actual trash on top of it.
That's next level, dude. I'm writing this down just so I have some ideas when Robbie gets older.
So Sloan didn't grow up hiding him either. So yeah, we've kind of had a mix where we hide ours now. We hit him super crappy last night. I was just too tired. I'm like, let's just do like we didn't even hide him that hard, you know. And then my girls know that we're just going to tell them where it is anyway, so they don't even try to find it. But yeah,
it's interesting how everyone's different, like what they do with that.
So going back to my point though, like if that's what you do and you buy your kids a ton of gifts or whatever, that's fine. But I love these like humble brag posts on Instagram, you know, like already for, you know, and it's just a picture of like the huge ton of stuff they bought their kids. I'm like, hey, no one cares that you bought your kids a bunch of stuff, you know, like you don't have to compete with the next person. If you did, that's fine. Totally fine. But you don't need to put videos of it on your story because like everyone knows you're just showing what you bought your kids. Like no one cares.
Exactly. They're doing it for themselves, not the kids at that point.
Not impressed. Okay, let's get into the first question then. So let's start with Easter since it's Easter, right? What are the best, worst Easter traditions? So I'll let you go. Did you have one for this?
You want me to go first?
Yeah, you go first. I'll pull the answers.
So for me, the worst tradition by far is making like actual Easter eggs with hard-boiled eggs.
Yeah.
Sorry, excuse me. The coronavirus, man.
It's just a fighting chest.
But yeah, bro, it smells like shit. And then it's messy with the paint. And then when you hide them, inevitably some of the eggs are going to get cracked from young kids when they squeeze them or they fall out of furniture. So I think and I'm sure I'm offending someone who's listening to this and that's their favorite tradition. But personally, I've never, even since a young kid, man, I've never really enjoyed boiling and painting eggs.
So
or when I found them.
And then you'd hide them in the house?
Yeah, or outside the house.
Yeah, I've never done I came home the other day and the girls had painted a bunch of hard-boiled eggs. And then they, of course, want to crush them after, and then they smell like absolute diarrhea.
Yeah.
But, like, I don't know. I've never heard of people putting it in the house. What if you just forget one of them? They just stink for years.
Yeah, bro. Imagine.
Yeah, we do, like, we haven't done ours today. We're going to do the Easter egg hunt, but we just buy the pre-filled, like, egg.
Ooh, that's nice. I've never bought a pre-filled egg.
Oh, yeah, dude. Target, baby. I guess you guys don't have Target over there, so you were screwed, but. Yeah, you buy them pre-filled, and then that way you don't have to go through the monotonous filling each thing with like one little starburst.
Yeah, that's the worst. Buy those in a heartbeat.
Yeah, a lot of people. I'm actually kind of glad that we're in this little COVID thing right now, because usually around Easter time we go to like 17 different Easter egg hunts around the town, and it's just like the kids.
By the end, you're just like.
Christmas. Or it's kind of like Halloween, yeah, where they go to too many things and they just don't appreciate it at all, you know?
Yeah, I totally relate, man. Every year seems like we have 4 or 5 hunts, and by the end, kids are like, we have more candy than we know what to do with.
Yeah, they're
and
they don't know, and they're just like wanting more. They're like, you know, they're like drug addicts.
Where's the next hunt?
Yeah. So a couple of these answers, we didn't have a ton of people respond. So as far as like, what are your best, worst Easter stories? Coda says not finding the egg with the money. Yeah. So some people, this is Sloan's parents or Sloan's family does this too, where they have Easter egg hunts and then one of them will just have like $100 in it, like one of the eggs.
It's amazing.
I'm like, yeah, I hadn't seen that till I married her, but apparently other people do it too. Coda being one of them. Carson Christine, the best tradition Easter this year in PJ's and no extended family. Yeah, that's pretty unreal. We usually just chilled to our own.
Yeah, I've noticed this year too. It's actually been kind of nice. I mean, we talked about it, but it seems like 4 or 5 Easter egg hunts every year, and you're visiting family. But it's kind of nice to sit back with your own family,
just
spend
chill.
Time with your kids, just chill and not have to worry about extended family.
Yeah, that has been nice. Another one of these, and we'll move on. Christian Anderson. My kids saw all their Easter things come in the mail, so we explained the Easter Bunny has coronavirus. Yeah, we told that. Sloan told that to Coco last night and was like, basically said, like, joking with her, was like, hey, like the Easter Bunny might have to stay home this year, so like you may not get a basket. Like she was just messing with her, and then it just jacked Coco out the rest of the night. She just would not stop asking, like, well, what if we don't get one? What's going to happen? What if we don't get a basket? You know, and she was tripping. It was pretty funny.
Yeah.
I was laughing.
Do both your kids still believe in the Easter Bunny?
Oh, yeah, dude. Coco believes more now than she did 3 years ago. I don't get it.
Amazing. Because you said 8 and 6, right?
Yeah, 8 and 6. Nora turns 7 on Tuesday, so they'll have a 7 and 8 year old. But yeah, they're hardcore believers. I mean, Coco especially, because Coco's like really, I don't even know what the word is. She's very like imaginative, I guess. She always is like telling stories and making up songs and stuff. So I think she like loves the fact that, you know, she just like loves believing in stuff, you know, like loves using her imagination. So she eats it up, dude. She eats it up. And so
that's awesome. I hope my kids have that too, dude. Because my son, he's only 4, but he's already talking about like, how can the Easter Bunny be here in Madrid, but also in Salt Lake City, Dad? I'm like, I don't know, bro.
I'm actually kind of excited for the opposite. I was telling Sloan last night, I'm like, I can't wait till we can just tell him, like, all right, this is all bullshit. Like, Santa Claus.
Just destroy her dreams.
Yeah, because they're like, Coco stayed up till almost midnight last night, kept coming down. She almost caught us in the act of putting their scooters together. And I'm like, bro, like, I just want to be like, hey, go to bed or else I'm not going to get your stuff out. I'm just going to go to bed and then we can figure it out tomorrow, you know? Which is like probably
never good to be caught in the act.
Yeah, I want to do an episode about that too. Just being caught in the act. So, all right, let's move on to the next question then. So someone asked this. I asked a question last week, like what questions should we discuss on the podcast? And I had a couple people say this. So how do you handle fits, tantrums / attitude? And I got a bunch of people's responses here. I grew up with, I mean, you know this, I grew up with only boys. So like I don't ever remember having, like, I remember like having tantrums, but I just remember like that shit got shut down really quick. You know, like you weren't allowed to just like have a tantrum or like, and if you had attitude, you got like, it was like game over. Or the other brothers would make fun of you and call you a baby. Like it was just like, they just embarrass you, I guess, or shame you into stopping.
Yeah.
So as a parent, I'm like, I should be more empathetic, but I'm not, because I grew up with boys and I still am trying to figure that out. But yeah, I want to see these responses because I don't handle tantrums well. What about you?
So my daughter, she's only 2, but it's funny. She was complaining tonight because she didn't want to go to bed, and I told my wife she should record this and we could like sell it as like a parenting guide, bro. Because yeah. So as far as tantrums go, I try to find what this sounds so terrible, but I try to find what either my kids love most, like what they value at that time, and then I take it. Like if they start their tantrum, I just take it from them, and then I say, hey, like if you do this or this, like, you can get it back. or it's gone till tomorrow.
Yeah.
But I think we're lucky because we're still at that age, bro, where they're young enough where like taking something like that away still works. I don't know.
They
Maybe.
respond.
Exactly.
Yeah, that used to work for me. It's like hasn't worked. That hasn't worked for probably 3 years, but it worked once.
I'm gonna need to evolve, dude. I don't know what I'm gonna do when that stops working. So
I don't know either. That's why I want to read some of these because they're like I don't know. I and it also depends on on me, like what kind of mood I'm in, or if Sloan's handling it, or if I'm trying to handle. Like it's all across the board, but. Let me read some of these. So how do you handle attitudes / tantrums / what does it say? How do you handle fits / tantrums / attitude? Okay. So Takoika Choke says, lock them in with the chickens. A lot of people actually were talking about locking their kids up. Well, AJ Wilson, so AJ says threats, but to be honest, noticing that when I have a good attitude and a nice dad, kids usually follow suit. Yeah, that's true. I mean, I try though. It also depends because parenting's so weird because you're basically going off like your attitude is one factor, right? And then the kid's attitude or however they're acting in that moment. Because like you may be nice and then they're going to respond to that, but there may be another time where you're nice and it doesn't matter and they're going to just rage. And then when you're both raging, that's when just hell breaks loose.
The perfect storm.
Yeah. Lyle the second says, scream at my kids. Yeah, that's what I do. Kaylee Larson, little kids ignore until they calm down. I ignore little kids until they calm down. Older kids take away privileges or for sass / talking back. Yeah, that's good. Hildoria, try to have a logical convo, and if that doesn't work, timeout. Yeah, timeout.
Yeah, dude, what's interesting, bro, is that all these responses are times have changed. I mean, it's obvious, but like none of them are like I take them, I pull the switch out, or I use my hand, right?
Yeah,
it's interesting.
Or if they did, they wouldn't say that. I don't think
they just wouldn't say it. Yeah,
I don't think they'd agree. I mean, I said this on a couple episodes back, but I used to spank my kids when they were a little younger. Now they just like rage too hard, and then so I just do them something else, or they'll just run away from me.
Yeah,
and they talk too much. Like, oh, my dad spanked me, and I'm like, I don't want like CPS showing up at my house. But yeah, I think out of all, I should do a poll and see how many people like our age got spanked, but I 100% got spanked.
I got the occasional spanking. I mean, infrequent, but
yeah.
Yeah.
Seth Randall says, I've tried this, and Sloan gets so pissed when I do this. Imitate them so they realize how silly they sound. Yeah, I'd try that.
Could be a good strategy.
It just
doesn't work.
Yeah, he has a boy, but for the girls, they just get more and more mad. And then Coco gets extreme. She's like, you're not even my dad. I don't want to be in this family, And I'm like, all right. That's bad. Yeah. JJ Mellon says, in public or at home. Yeah, which is true also. It's very, very different. If they throw a tantrum in public, I just literally pick them up and carry them out to the car.
You're done. You don't want to put up with that.
Oh, yeah. No. Zabriskie family, I usually break down and turn into a child myself. That's funny. Grant coming.
That's how I'm at right now.
Yeah, you're just too tired. I mean, the other thing is too is these questions are probably way more amplified by the whole situation now, right? Where everyone's stuck at home with their kids. And I think it's just, and we're going to talk about screen time in a second, but I think people are just like over it. They're like, whatever, just like whatever goes.
Oh, totally, dude. Our house right now, it's Lord of the Flies. It's like every young boy for himself. It's crazy here, dude.
Sleeping in and stuff and staying up late.
Yeah, well, I wish they'd sleep in, but yeah, I mean, they're staying up for their age. They're staying up till like 9:30, sometimes 10.
Yeah,
but then they're up at 6:45, 7 every morning.
Oh my goodness, dude, that's so brutal. My kids are sleeping till 11 o'clock. They're like, that's what they do in the summer. But then they stay up till like, we'll put them in their room at like 9:30 sometimes, and then they'll stay up in their room till like 11. Coco sometimes stays up till midnight, but as long as she's in her room, I don't care. But yeah, it's been straight up anarchy at our house.
Yeah, I think for everyone, man, it's crazy.
I was going to ask you, are you done with school now? Like you obviously you're home. So are they doing online or what?
Yeah. So our school took a 2-week break. It starts up tomorrow, online. And then hopefully within the next month, it goes back to being in the classroom. That's what they say. But I think, bro, I think I'll graduate online and it'll be online from here on out.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're scrambling hardcore, dude, because everyone paid a bunch of money. It's a huge international body. And everyone's like, wait, what? Like, this isn't what we signed up for.
And then did your students go home? Because you guys it's obviously an international MBA, right?
Yeah, I would say 70-80% of students went back to their home countries.
Dang. So a lot of them might not even be able to get back by tomorrow or by the time they get back in class.
I don't think so, because the quarantine here in Italy has been so extreme that once they finally get it under control, I think they'll be hesitant in opening the doors for everyone else from all the other countries to come back in.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no chance you're finishing. There's no chance you're finishing in person, I guess I should say.
It's rough, dude. But at the end of the day, I'm in school, so it's not. I mean, I could see it on the other side being a lot more stressful if I had a job, right? And it was shaky. Yeah. I'm like, oh my gosh, am I going to keep my job? Or like, if I had a mortgage payment, we're renting right now. So
yeah, I've got a couple buddies. I mean, you probably do too, that have been like laid off. It's pretty wild. Okay, let's get back to these. Grant Cummings on how he handles tantrums. Toss them like the pigskin. He's so stupid. Never once said a serious answer. Brianne Rochelle locked them in the basement for 24 hours. Again, she doesn't have kids. Summer Saw says not well. Chase White, put them in a crate. Coda Garrett, put them in his kennel and leave. He has a dog, obviously. Jackie Lozer, try to console by distraction. I used to do that, and it used to work with the little kids. Like as they were younger, I would just completely change the subject and bring up something else, and they would forget why they were mad. But it doesn't work.
They're too smart now. You can't trick them.
Yeah, now she says that we're past that. Make threats that I can follow through with, which I am the king of empty threats. I've said that a million times on this podcast, but I threaten doing things when I know for sure I'm not going to do that because I don't want to have to leave or to like miss out on something myself because I'm selfish.
Yeah. Does that still work? Still works for you?
No, it doesn't work.
They see through it now.
Yeah, they see through. So now like I'm getting, I don't know. I usually threaten something that's like way smaller, like you said, like taking away something they like and then just praying for the best, but usually it doesn't pan out well.
Yeah, for me tonight, dude, my son, he wouldn't go to bed, so he's been obsessed with Legos during the lockdown. And he's built this dragon, and he kept getting out of bed. So I'm like, all right, dude, I'm gonna throw this away, and I don't know if I actually would have, but I was pretty dang serious, and he never stepped foot out of his bed again. Oh, he fully believed me, so it's still working for us.
Oh, when they believe the threats, it's just a whole new world. And then, yeah, I have to get like super crazy with Coco for her. Like Nora's like she'll crack if I look at her wrong, she'll start crying. But like Coco, the older one, she like I have to just take it to 1,000. I have to go from 0 to 100, and just like yell at her to make sure she knows I'm serious. And I have to like almost like scare her into it, you know. It's bad. It's probably like the worst parenting ever, but don't care. Nate Fulmer says, usually with a fit tantrum of my own. Does it work? Never. Yeah, exactly. You have to just rage, and then they just don't. It doesn't matter to them at all. Okay, let's go to the next one. And I didn't mean to. These are just questions I've had kind of on the back burner for a while, and I wanted to bring them up. So this doesn't have anything to do with COVID-19, but this was one of the questions. As far as how long do you wait before you take your kid to the doctor? I was actually surprised at some of these answers.
Yeah, I could see it varying. I know between me and my wife that it's completely different. Our opinions on this.
Where you stand on this?
Bro, as long as they have a pulse, then I want to keep them at home. I mean,
yeah,
it's I've had so many bad experiences. I can think of 3 off the top of my head and maybe it was just because it was our firstborn. But Robbie, our son, is anytime he had a fever over 102, Audrey would be like, okay, he needs to go to the doctor. And I can remember waiting in urgent care for hours and finally getting in, and they took his temperature and like, yeah, I think he has a cold. Just go home and get some rest. I'm like, what was I just here for
Yeah.
for 2-3 hours?
Just paid $100 or whatever to see the doctor.
Yeah.
Pay a copay for no reason. But then at the same time, like, you don't want to be that one time where like, oh dang, you should have taken him to the doctor.
Yeah, that'd be rough, dude.
But those stories are so few and far between.
So yeah, you roll the dice, bro. You roll the dice, and
Yeah.
if that was the case, then yeah, shit. But
yeah, it's true. Yeah, we're this. I mean, me and Sloan are different on this. I think we just, I don't know. It depends on like what it is, obviously. But if it's got to be like very, very extreme for me to take the kid to the doctor. You know.
Yeah, I mean, so we went on a beach vacation in August in Valencia in Spain, and our son, he was climbing on a glass table in the hotel room, and the glass table was top heavy, and it flipped over and shattered.
No way.
And it just sliced his hand. It gashed it, and it was deep. And I was trying to convince Audrey, like, oh, no, I don't think he needs to go to the doctor, as he's like bleeding out in front of us. I'm like, I can bandage this. I can tape it.
Tourniquet.
That's basically what I did. Finally, I took him to the emergency room. Like, oh yeah, he for sure needed to come, and he had like 10 or 12 stitches in his hand.
And then she's gonna use that. She's gonna use that for the next occasion.
Oh, the rest of our lives, dude. Yeah, totally.
Remember that time in Valencia, the table?
Yeah.
That's what AJ Wilson says. If I can't stop the bleeding on my own, that's a decent indicator. But I also don't know one thing about. And when I see blood, I'm out. I pass out. Takoi Kachok, after Amber says Dr. Daddy has exhausted all of his resources. Speaking of fever, Kaylee Larson says, I'll take them if they've had a fever longer than 3 days. That's a long time.
That is a long time. I think at that point you start getting a little nervous.
Yeah, I usually, if the fever doesn't go down within like probably 1 to 2 days, like even if it's 2 nights of a fever, I'm like, oh boy, you know. And if that, I avoid the ER at all costs. You got to go. You got to wait till the next day. Even like if it's like croup, because now croup when your first kid, it's scary as hell. But you got to just like, you know, take the kid out in the cold, or they breathe cold air, put their head in the freezer, right? You learn all these little tricks, because then you take them as the same thing. They're like, oh, they give them a breathing treatment, maybe. But they're like, yeah, it'll go away. It just like goes away on its own. But the first kid, you're just like, oh, this kid's about to die. You know?
Yeah, and you get all panicked.
Oh, sure. There's nothing more panicky than waking up. The one thing worse than waking up to the sound of a kid throwing up is the sound of a kid with just hardcore croup. And you're like, oh, my night just got rammed. I'm up for the next 3 hours at least.
Yeah, for sure. Especially with the first one, because then you're super worried, and once you've had one and you have your second, you're like, okay, like,
oh yeah, you have no idea.
You don't panic as much.
Second kid's so much easier. JHML, usually about 2 days longer than my wife prefers. JWC Grant says probably till bedridden. 9 out of 10 times they say go home, stay dehydrated, and take ibuprofen. It's true.
Yeah, it's too relatable.
Bro,
best case scenario would be if your parent was a doctor. If you were a doctor, your spouse was a doctor. That's best case scenario.
Oh yeah,
then you're covered.
Yeah, you're hooked. Or a family member. I mean, now especially after this whole thing with that's going on now with like quarantine and all that, it's actually, I think, making it easier for people to adapt now to like the digital like the what's it called?
Yeah, e-medicine.
Yeah, e-medicine, where you get on with like FaceTime with a doctor and they're like, hey, okay, that's okay, take this and this and this. They're fine. And they do, like, I wonder if people are going to be using that now more after this, especially like with most companies, like my company, it's free and it just comes with your, you know, telehealth or whatever, telemedicine. It comes with your insurance plan, because they'd rather have you not come into the doctor and take someone's time. It's a 10-minute call for the doctor.
Oh, 100%, dude. I think no doubt that's the next wave. For at least, I mean, if I can see a doctor for my kids just from home, no doubt.
Yeah, it's way easier. And the last one on this, Jackie Lozer says, depends if fevers aren't going down after a while, or if I know a bone is broken, I go with my gut. Yeah, if a bone's broken, you full sprint.
Yeah.
That's out. Your leg, your arm or something is just sitting there hanging, dangling down. That's out.
A compound fracture. You're not realigning that yourself.
Yeah, you trying to put a splint on that? No, that's out. You gotta get to the doc. Okay, next question on here is how much screen time do you let your kids have? Now, this one, I've some of these topics I've had for a while, and I just have I either forget or we run out of time to bring them up. But like this one is very, very different than if we weren't in the current situation of being home a million hours a day. So we will keep that in mind. So we're at like whatever. We don't care at this point.
Yeah, we're with you, man. I mean,
you guys are literally screwed. You have to just give them screen time all day, right?
Yeah, we actually ordered a projector off Amazon, and we keep our bedroom. We keep the windows like the shutters down, and we keep it permanently dark. And
just permanent
projector's running. And it's permanently running. It's either a kid's show or at night. Then me and Audrey are watching something. But
how many hours do you put on so far?
We probably average 8 to 10 a day. No cap, dude. Like maybe 12. Yeah. It's but I couldn't recommend that more.
A decent little projector,
$300 off Amazon.
Yeah, send me that.
And it's just HD. Yeah, I'll send it to you. It's like if you like a white wall. In fact, I don't even think you need a white wall. If you have the one we got, it's not super mini, so we might just end up leaving it here. But I remember it was like 200 euros. So and the quality is amazing. It's been worth every penny. Dude.
Market or whatever.
Well, yeah. I mean, all the stores are closed, so we Amazon somehow open, so they delivered it.
Are the restaurants there? Sorry to come back to this. Are the restaurants there doing takeout too, or is everything completely shut down?
No, the restaurants are doing takeout.
Oh, they are,
which is amazing.
Do you guys do that a lot or not?
Yeah, we all the time now. Yeah, you think we would be like with our life like slowing down? You think we would be cooking more and eating healthier? But it's actually I shouldn't say that. Audrey's gonna hear this and be like, "What?" But she still cooks a lot. But
yeah, you got to get your tapas in though.
Yeah.
Yeah, we haven't been. We've been. I mean, we cook. I don't know. Not that many times. Maybe probably like 5 times a week. But I do lunch out every single day just because I want to like keep these little locals in business. And it's just like I'm stressed already as it is, so I've just been eating my weight and stress calories.
It's getting ugly over here.
Couple of these answers on the screen time. Quick joke, because pretty much at this point they can watch screens when mom and dad do. So AJ Wilson's, we don't keep track, but they naturally limit themselves. Dude, I wish my kids naturally limited themselves. Coco would literally sit from sunup till sundown and watch, whatever Netflix or Hulu shows she's watching and just not move. And like forget to eat milk.
Maybe it's because your kids are older, dude. Like the self-regulation is it's a good. I think AJ brings up a really good point because our daughter, like, she's only 2, but she can only watch so much shows before she wanders out and then starts playing with toys and then we can't get her to watch shows for a couple hours. Which for me, dude, I'm the opposite. Like I know everyone's trying to limit screen time. I'm pushing screen time onto my kids. I'm like, I can't play with you right now. Let's go watch a Disney movie.
Yeah,
herding them into the room and then sneaking out.
Yeah, especially when your school starts up again tomorrow. Good luck, dude. You're gonna trying to find. You're gonna be in that closet all day.
Yeah, rip.
Sure. Kay Thomas says the rule is 1 hour a day, which means she gets 4 to 5 hours on average. Real life, same thing. Kaylee Larson, real life limit 1 to 2 hours a day. Quarantine life, anything goes at this point. We're all surviving. I agree. That's perfectly put. Zabriskie family, depends on how tired mom and dad are. Yeah, that's a good point. If I'm feeling good, then I'll like, hey, let's go on a bike ride or let's go do this or that. But if I'm just like tired or I'm working, I'll be like, yeah, go watch literally anything you want. I don't care. You can go watch the Furious series. I don't even care at this point. JWC full day if wife is gone. A wife only allows 2 or 3 times a day. Christina says 30-minute maximum, maybe 3 times a day after they do good things. I'm
just curious, man. Have you noticed that people in Utah have gone much more indoors since the quarantine has started, or families like playing in their yards or going on walks?
No, dude. Yeah, this is interesting since you're not here in Utah, and I don't know how many.
Yeah, and I really haven't spoken with my family about it either, so I have no idea.
How many of the listeners on this podcast out of the 3 people who listen to this are actually from Utah, but I have a feeling it's probably 9%. People in Utah, since there's like a joke going on that people have, since quarantine started, people are going outside 1,000 times more. Like every park you go to, like Creekside Park that's up in Alpine by your parents, hundreds of people there. Yeah, every day. And it's not like they're keeping the 6 feet, meaning every family is like just staking a little plot of land and just hanging out. But like there's a trail that goes right past my work that's for bikes, and it's like right next to my house. And so we ride it. We get on the bikes and ride that all the time. And there's like hundreds of people on the trail. Or the cemetery, there's like a little like jogging path. Way more people outside, especially it's like 50 degrees here still. And so it's not even close to,
being warm.
Yeah, like this time of year, normal year, no quarantine, and it would be empty. You'd have the hardcore cyclists on there, but the cyclists are all pissed because everyone with their rollerblades and strollers and kids on scooters, like it's insane. I'll have to show you, like when I drive back home today after I do this recording, I'll have to drive past that. Like there's hundreds of people outside. So yeah, it's opposite of what you think. Everyone says like quarantine, but because I think it's just because it's like the whole thing, like you want what you can't have, right? And so because the government's saying everyone needs to stay inside and hang out, everyone's like, oh, I'll show you. I'm going to go outside as much as possible because you're telling me I have to stay inside, Oh
yeah, it's interesting, man.
Yeah, it's insane. Like way more people that don't even hike like people like me that have no business hiking and never hiked are like now all of a sudden
ordering hiking shoes off Amazon and canes and
strip. Yeah. And then you're like, what are you doing? You've never hiked in your entire life. Or people, I mean, we're guilty of this because we just bought scooters for the kids and we bought ourselves scooters, like adult size scooters, because we're just like, people are just bored. People are spending money. Like a bunch of people I know just bought blow up things for their kids. And like, we just bought a blow up slide for outside because like, we're just bored and there's nothing to do. Because all the stuff we normally spend money on, like movies or bowling or I don't know,
restaurants,
all that stuff.
Going out to eat. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, we have nothing to do. So I'm going to justify.
Do people hang out with other families, or is that, no, you kind of just like, you really hunker down with your own family?
Yeah, we've been, well, it depends on who it is. Like we have friends who still are seeing their families, and my family's been pretty good actually about like not seeing each other. And like my parents came by today, but they stayed in their car and they just waved, and the girls came out and said Happy Easter to them. That was about it. But like, I mean, it really depends. There's a lot of people that are not taking it seriously, that are still playing with their like families and like extended family.
Full sending it.
Yeah, they just don't care. And I'm like, I don't know. But that's the whole thing that's so stupid about this whole thing is, even if you guys are over there in Madrid, literally 24 hours a day inside, and and then you have 200 people in Provo, Utah that are students that don't care about it and they hang out together anyways. Like something like that. I don't ever see an end to this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It comes back over to,
like what if it comes back
at some point? Yeah, exactly.
Some community in Wyoming didn't take it seriously. I talked to a person in Moscow a couple days ago who has a friend up in Kamchatka, Russia, which is like the most northern part of Russia. And they're not even taking it seriously. They're like, yeah, no one really believes in that. It's all media hype. So they're just like life as usual up there in this like little town. I'm like, oh, cool. That's going to be the town that like starts it back up,
Yeah.
So I don't know, but yeah, no, some people take it seriously. I'd say the majority are doing pretty good. Like Utah's cases aren't the best.
They're low. But they're still pretty low. Deaths are low.
Yeah. So who knows, but we'll see. a lot of people aren't taking it seriously, but I think everyone just is like annoying. If everyone just like would go hardcore extreme lockdown for 3 weeks, maybe it would just be done, but no one knows, you know. The problem is no one's on the same page, I think, but I have no idea. I just want things to go back to normal like the rest of the world, you know.
I couldn't agree more.
Couple more answers on here. So Kelsey Lynn Flakes, Kyson's wife, approximately 23 hours, question mark. This is back for the screen time again. Courtney Francis, 30 minutes if they're lucky. We try for none. Wow, that's
a lot. That's stringent.
Running a tight ship over there.
Yeah.
Jackie Lozer said it's all about balance. No one can judge you at this point. If they do, who effing cares? I agree. And then Nate Fulmer says ignorant. Who is actually counting ignorance as bliss? Yeah, like I said at the start of this thing, dude, kids are just the ones getting the most hammered out of this whole situation. So I don't think it's, I don't know. I think you just got to do whatever the kids want to do, honestly. You got to make it fun for them because they're the ones getting affected the most. Like adults can handle it. They understand. The kids just think, like my kids are just like sad they can't play with their friends, you know?
Yeah, dude, I've been worried about that. I mean, our kids are so young that I talked to Audrey, man. I'm worried that it's like psychologically affecting them, but they're so young they can't, they can't articulate properly like what's occurring. It'll be interesting to see down the road, like what the heck's going on with all these kids and like how they're gonna handle it all.
Like jack them up like long term.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't show, but who knows?
Yeah, I mean, you never know. Like they could just. I mean, they may just not know better. There's also probably a lot of families out there, though. You think about it, that probably this is their normal. Like, oh, we don't ever leave, anyways. We just hang out at our house.
That's a good point.
And so, but like the fact that your kids are like the most on the go kids ever, right? Like I've seen Robbie was around 100 miles in that park in Madrid, and so he's probably like, "What the hell are we doing in the house? Like, why can't we go outside?" Especially
haven't I left? Yeah, amazing. 65 degrees, sunny.
That's top 10.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. We'll see what happens with all these guys. I feel bad. Like Nora's birthday's on Tuesday, and I don't know. Like she obviously had all these plans, and she wanted to do like a arcade thing, and then blah blah blah, and so now I'm like, how do we make her birthday special without? Like nothing's open, you know, so now we got to like think of a way to make it like memorable and special, that even though like everybody
that's tricky, man.
He's got rammed.
Yeah, I feel bad for anyone whose kid during lockdown has a birthday. Our son has a birthday in a couple weeks, and we're just praying we can get out. But
it's in May. It's
April 28th, so it looks like we're probably still going to be in lockdown, but I don't. He's probably still so young. He doesn't care. But like, yeah, I don't know. Someone who was really looking forward to a birthday party and then can't have any friends or family. Yeah. Shit, dude.
You gotta have like for Robbie. You gotta have like, especially since you guys are away from like literally on lockdown, away from everybody. You should just have either you or your wife post like, "Hey, everyone, send him videos." Just anyone and everyone, even people he doesn't know. He'd be pumped. Just happy.
You, dude. I'm looking for one from you. Yeah, for sure. That's a good idea.
Our kids will for sure do one for Robbie. They worship.
Yeah, he still talks about Coco and Nora, man.
It
was a fun trip you guys had.
Yeah, Robbie's 2Ds. All right, dude. Well, we're gonna wrap it up. A lot of sad talk this episode, but it's all real. I feel bad for you guys. For anyone that,
bro, would you rather quarantine with your buddies or your family? Let's end it on a semi-serious note.
On a semi-serious with my buddy.
Like if your mates, your friends.
What am I married right now, or?
Yeah, you're legit married, but you could still
as is right now.
As is right now. There, all your friends have tested not positive. You could get the gang together at a house.
For the rest of the quarantine?
For the rest of the quarantine. Yeah, maybe your wife and kids just maybe they stay alone, or maybe they go with the other families.
Yeah, it's
not happening. Probably it's probably not happening.
There's no good of a situation because you're screwing your wife by giving them the kids. Like let's say like we talked about this last week. People that are just chilling right now with no kids, that's life right there. That's life.
Oh, dude, some of my classmates, they rented these beachfront houses in the down in the southern part of Spain. There's like 15 per house, and
Oh, they're chilling.
yeah, they're just chilling.
They've been there for like 4 weeks.
Yeah, just 4 weeks partying in the house.
Oh, that's unreal. You just tell Audrey you got to go out for milk, and then you just never come back. She's like, "Where are you?" You're like, "Oh, I'm in Malaga. I'm in Malaga with the boys."
I'm at a house party in Malaga.
Yeah, that'd be wild. I don't know. I mean, there's a yeah, but I don't know. I also have I mean, you know, David, my younger brother David, he's in a house with a bunch of his buddies. He's working from home. And I don't know if he's loving it or if he's depressed or what. I haven't really talked to him about it, but like a couple of his buddies go and work and they like rip out tile for a living. And so they're going like risking getting it every day when they go out to these random houses and do construction, you know. So he's like quarantined, but he's at risk because his people come home every single day with different contacts, you know.
Being out, yeah, dang.
So I don't know, but you got to think that that's the dream right now. You're just on lockdown with a bunch of your boys, but maybe you just some of them you don't like. I don't know.
Or maybe locked down with a bunch of families, you know, some big.
Oh, that'd be
who knows, dude? Who knows? That might be in. That
might be unreal. Yeah. Yeah. Can you fathom it? You're just like, hey, we're gonna go have a guys' weekend. It's just like, dude.
And then you actually get in lockdown during that weekend.
Yeah. They put Utah in actual lockdown during that weekend, so then you just are stuck for the next 5 weeks.
Sorry, honey, I'm out.
Yeah, that'd be divorce city when you got back. Papers would be on the table. Suitcases would be out on the porch.
Yeah, no doubt. You'd be getting an email with those papers next morning.
Just tell me what address to send your stuff to. Yeah. All right, dude. Well, it's like midnight over there, so I'll let you go. But thanks for joining, and we'll have to, once things get better, we'll have to have you on again, man.
Yeah, I would love to. Thanks, Nate. Good talking with you, man.